everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Well, folks, it's time to look at another winter-themed movie, and this one is from a franchise that I haven't really talked about for a very long time. The Land Before Time. For those of you who have seen my blog of the first movie back in 2014, you know that this is one of my favorite Don Bluth movies. In fact, it's my absolute favorite from my childhood. So much so that I put it at number 1 on my top 30 personal favorite animated movies countdown video. Also, a few years later, I looked at the 10th movie, The Great Long Neck Migration, where Littlefoot got to meet his long-lost father. Also, to this day, I'm still surprised that this franchise has reached about 14 movies and a TV series. Anyway, thanks to a generous request by my number 1 fan, Nathan Higa, I'm going to look back at the 8th movie in this dinosaur franchise. So, let's get started. Released to video and DVD on December 4, 2001, the movie is The Land Before Time 8, The Big Freeze. Now, in this movie, snow falls in the Great Valley for the first time, puzzling and enchanting all the dinosaurs who live there. But it's not long before everybody realized that these fun and fluffy white snowflakes are a threat to their survival. At the same time, a herd of wandering spike-tails decide to leave since they consume more food than the others, and they bring along Littlefoot's friend Spike. When Spike's sister Ducky secretly follows, Littlefoot, Sarah, Petrie, and a new adult dinosaur named Mr. Thicknose head out into the mysterious beyond to bring back their friends while facing and braving the wintry weather. So, what do I personally think of this 8th movie? Well, I did like the film during my childhood, and nowadays I still enjoy it, but not as much as I used to. But on the other hand, I think it's way better than the 6th movie, but it's not as timeless as the first movie. But before I get ahead of myself on why I still like it, let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, Universal Studios had begun production work on this movie ever since June 2000. Also to note, there's one other person who I know about who reviewed this movie before I did, who happens to be the infamous Diamanda Hagen, who's best known for reviewing weird, dark, creepy, and non-family friendly movies. And I still pray that she doesn't know I exist, because if she does, she might try to slice me with her chainsaw. Anyway, the reason why she did look at this movie is because several years ago, she was part of Daikун's Land Before Time collaboration, where each reviewer did a review on each Land Before Time movie and the TV series. And I heard that the Hardcore Kid, Jaime Tude, and the Cartoon Hero, whom I'm acquainted with, got to take part in this big collaboration. Now, what are my thoughts on the animation? Well, in my eyes, while it doesn't really top Don Bluth's style from the first movie, I still think the animation is pretty good, and I absolutely love the wintry setting since snow is my favorite element. As for the story, well, I think it's pretty decent, mostly. Yes, it mainly focuses on Ducky and Spike's sibling relationship. However, there are some moments that seem kind of recycled from past movies, like the migrating spike tails, which feel reminiscent to the migrating long necks from the 4th movie and the far walkers from the 7th film. And there are other moments that feel similar to the 1st and the 3rd movies. But that doesn't mean I still can't like it, though. Plus, this movie doesn't seem to have a main antagonist, and instead, it has an avalanche and a random obstacle in the form of a sharp tooth who attacks and chases the gang twice in the movie. Still, I thought it was awesome when the children face said Sharptooth with a huge snowball. Now, let's talk a little bit about the songs. First is the Mad song, sung by Sarah while she teaches Ducky to be angry. Now, I need to let you guys know that this would have to be Nathan Higa's favorite song in the whole movie. However, to me, this song definitely defines Sarah's character, because, as she says, if there's one thing Three Horns know about, it's being mad. Also, I think this song has a catchy beat. Plus, the part where Sarah's dad, hearing her scream, kind of makes me laugh due to him being proud to hear his daughter in rage. However, later, it's revealed that this song was meant to show Ducky how to express her feelings. Our next song is Family, which is sung by Ducky and her mother, along with her friends, Littlefoot, Sarah, and Petrie, after Spike leaves the Great Valley with Tippy's Spiketail herd. To me, this song is very emotional, and I think, while it is interesting that Ducky and her friends puzzle over the ups and downs one may feel with members of their family or their close friends, Mama Swimmer tells them that the mutual love of a family helps conflicting people to rise above their differences and forgive each other. Finally, we come to the Lessons song, which is sung by Mr. Thicknose, which to me is the most interesting song in the movie, due to it delving deeper into Mr. Thicknose's character, and it explains why he pretended that he was the wisest dinosaur in the Great Valley. Plus, I like when the kids join in the song. Anyway, now let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought him to life. The leader of the gang, Littlefoot, is this time voiced by Thomas Dekker, who also voiced Fievel in 2 of the American Tail sequels, and he played Jesse in the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Now, while Littlefoot is not the main character here, I still think he's a great and unique kid. Plus, I kind of like Littlefoot's curiosity, which kind of gets him into trouble with Mr. Thicknose, and I also like Littlefoot's leadership. Also, it should be noted that Littlefoot was the only dinosaur to first notice the snow falling, which no one believed him until the valley was covered in snow the following morning. Next we have Sarah, once again voiced by Andy McAfee, who also voiced in the 1994 Secret Garden movie, the 1993 Tom and Jerry movie, and Hey Arnold. Anyway, I still have mixed feelings for Sarah, mainly due to her stubborn, bossy, skeptical, and proud demeanor. But at least Sarah does have a caring and sensitive side. And like I said earlier, I kind of liked when Sarah gave Ducky some advice about anger and madness, when in reality, she wanted Ducky to express her feelings. However, I think Sarah's best moment is when she screams very angrily to cause the snow blocking the Great Valley's entrance to fall down. Next we come to Ducky, voiced by Aria Curzon, who voiced Emily in Annabelle's Wish, and she also got to be in Santa with Muscles, which sounds kind of stupid to me. Also to note, in April 7th, 2002, Aria won Young Artist Award for Outstanding Young Voiceover, which is really impressive, by the way. Anyway, Ducky serves as one of the main characters for this movie. Here, Ducky's relationship with Spike became temporarily stained when his snoring makes it hard for Ducky to sleep at night, and when he eats the tree stars that their mom had packed for Ducky. After taking advice from Sarah, Ducky behaves rather coldly and distantly towards Spike. And after he begins to spend more time with his new friend Tippy, Ducky begins to miss him and regret her actions. Further so when, out of frustration, she told him to go off with Tippy's herd during the cold times in the valley. Anyway, in my eyes, while Ducky is an adorable character in Littlefoot's gang, especially with her lingo like yep, 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 I still think she's very sympathetic and relatable. However, I thought it wasn't very smart of her to go out into the mysterious beyond on her own to find Spike. Next we have Petrie, voiced by veteran voice actor Jeff Bennett. Now, I still stand that Petrie is one of my favorite characters out of the 5, and I think Petrie has several memorable scenes, like when a piece of fruit falls on him, when he makes a snow angel, and when his wings freeze when he flies too high. Next we come to Ducky's brother, and our second main character, Spike, vocalized by Rob Paulsen. To me, Spike is another memorable character due to his laid-back personality, and while his relationship with Ducky kind of has some ups and downs at times throughout this movie, I do like it when he spends time visiting the other Spike-tails who visit the Great Valley, since he's never had the chance to get to know his own species before this movie. Also, I like that Spike has a keen sense of smell, which is used while helping the Spike-tail herd find food. And I was shocked when Spike got to speak for a second time in the franchise. You see, in the 4th movie, he yelled out, "Ducky!" But here, he says, "Mama!" Next we come to Ducky and Spike's mom, voiced by another veteran voice actress, Trez MacNeille. To me, Mama Swimmer gets a lot of character development in this movie. While she is very caring towards her children, she does have doubts on how to raise Spike, whether in keeping with her own values or with those of his racial heritage. Also, I like the part where she tells Tippy's mother about when Spike lost his biological parents in the 1st movie, and that she took him in. And I also like the scene where she saved Spike from drowning. Next is Grandpa Longneck, voiced by the late Kenneth Mars. Best known from the first 2 Little Mermaid movies, Young Frankenstein, and We're Back. In my eyes, Grandpa Longneck has some memorable moments in this movie, like the scene where he talks with Littlefoot about his behavior with Mr. Thicknose, where he tries to calm down an argument between Thicknose and Sarah's dad. And I thought it was kind of interesting that Grandpa had heard about the snow from the visiting dinosaur herds who come to the Great Valley to search for food. Next we have Sarah's dad, Topsy, voiced by the late John Ingle, who also narrates a few of these films. In my eyes, Topsy has some ups and downs throughout this franchise due to his bossy and grumpy attitude, and I really didn't like it when he yells at Mr. Thicknose and blames him for the snow killing their food. The first new character to talk about is a young Spike-tail named Tippy, voiced by Jeremy Suarez, who'd later voice Coda in Disney's Brother Bear movies. To me, Tippy makes a great and a close new friend for Spike, and while he does not speak in complete sentences, mainly due to his young age, Tippy is playful and he has a large appetite. Tippy's mom is voiced by Susan Krebs, whom I only remember from $1 Million Baby. To me, she's very friendly towards Spike, and she loves her son Tippy, although After learning that Spike had been fostered by Ducky's family, she allows Spike to spend more time with the Spiketail herd, and she also invites Spike to come along with her herd when they leave the Great Valley. Another character to talk about is Mr. Thicknose, voiced by the late Robert Gulaim, who's best known for voicing Rafiki in the Lion King trilogy. To me, Thicknose is the most interesting character, and he claims to be the oldest and the wisest dinosaur in the Great Valley, and while he tries to educate the kids, he has a difficult time with Littlefoot. However, it's revealed that most of Thicknose's knowledge came from secondary sources. You see, when he was young, he listened to the stories of other travelers, and when he became an adult, he decided to share those stories with the new generation of young dinosaurs. Also, I liked when he joined the children when they go into the mysterious beyond to find Ducky and Spike. And now, let's move on to my final words. Overall, The Land Before Time 8, The Big Freeze, is a decent movie in this franchise. While it does suffer from plot points and character concepts that were used in previous Land Before Time movies, it makes up for it with its animation, decent songs, and a nice message regarding the relationship between adopted siblings. Also, I thought Ducky and Spike made great main characters together, and I thought Chippy was a great new friend for Spike, and Thicknose was pretty interesting. Still, I think this is one of the few Land Before Time films that you should definitely check out with your family, especially during the holidays. So, I give this movie a 71% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time as we go on a wild, wintry road trip with the Warner children. Mustang Power.